Good day, my friends. It's Crazy Ma, and I'm back. Last week I told you about a recipe that I was making, and I didn't leave the recipe because I said I'd find out what it was like, and then I'd share it with you. Well, I have to give credit, first off and foremost, for this recipe to Christy's Keto Lifestyle. Christy has a big page that I follow her, and she does videos and inspired me with this recipe. Now, for everybody who likes Italian food, you know, a lot of Italian food is pasta based, and it's not very friendly for keto or a lazy keto style diet, of which I do. I don't do a full-blown keto diet, so I'm not losing as fast as somebody who is, but I'm not able, or I should say I'm not really willing to give it all up yet. But when you follow these programs, with keto, it's a very high-fat diet, and low carbs. You really count your carbs and your sugars, but you're making it up for it with, some fat in your diet. Well, I don't want the fat either, so I kind of do a lazy keto, which is kind of a nice combination for me. Last week, when I made this recipe, and it's raviolis. And how many of us love Italian food, like I said, But I can't just afford to be able to eat noodles all the time. So what I did was I kind of went on a hunt, and I found this recipe. And like I said, Christy's Keto Lifestyle, and she has her own channel and does wonderful, wonderful recipes. So for today, I'm going to go over this really quick with you. Now, I've heated up my oven. I've preheated my oven to 375 degrees. What you're going to do is prepare yourself, prepare your goods. You can make this on a cookie sheet with parchment paper. I love my silicone, and you can get these on Amazon, and they come in 3 different sizes. There's a large one, which fits a larger baking pan, the small one, and of course I'm using the medium one today. I'm going to just put that on my cookie sheet. And what you do is take mozzarella, okay? This is the mozzarella, and they're like the slices of mozzarella. Cut them in half, okay? So that you have skinny mozzarellas. And I'm just doing 6 of them today because I don't have any more mozzarella. But normally you could do 4 pieces of mozzarella, just cut them in half and lay them out on your tray like this. In the meantime, you can pop them in your oven at 375 for 6 minutes. But when I did it for 6 minutes, they were a little not as pliable as I would like to. So I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes and start that. So in the meantime, ricotta cheese. I use the part skim ricotta cheese, and I mix that with 1/4 cup. This is Italian ground sausage. I'm going to put that in there. Also, you can use Italian seasoning. A lot of Italian seasoning, especially the ones that come pre-made, they have a lot of salt in them, and I have a cardiac problem. I have a blood pressure issue. I don't want the salt. So what I'm going to do today is, as good as it was, I'm going to take a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. 1/4 teaspoon garlic powder. I'm going to put that in my mix. I'm also going to toss for a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. So I'm going to use a teaspoon, not quite a teaspoon. I think I'm going to go with 1/2 teaspoon of Mrs. Dash, but I'm going to use the one with the garlic and the herbs in it. So I'm going to put that in there. And then we need 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan, which I forgot to take out of the refrigerator. So here's some grated Parmesan. I always have Parmesan. I have grated and I have shredded. So we're going to use the grated today, and we're going to need 2 tablespoons of the grated Parmesan. 1, 2. And then we're just going to mix that all together. and make, you know, what would look like normal, you know, stuffing for raviolis, lasagna, whatever you want. The other hint too is that if you ever want lasagna, you know those egg wraps? You can take those and cut the eggs into strips, long strips, and that can be your noodle for your lasagna. Anyways, this is how it looks, you know, once it's all mixed up. We still have almost 3 minutes left for that to finish. So that's how quick that actually goes together. One of the things that I wanted to let you know too is I'm gonna eventually do a whole video, is I had some questions about the kind of surgery that I had. Well, I had the gastric sleeve, and what the gastric sleeve does is it goes in, and your stomach, if you look at an old-fashioned wine pouch, that's what your stomach is kind of shaped like. And what happens is that the food goes in, it sits in there, in that pouch bottom of your stomach. That's where there are hormones in there, ghrelin especially, which is the hormone that triggers your hunger response. And what happened is that when he cut that portion of my stomach off, he took the ghrelin. So do I ever really get hungry? Not ravenous like I used to. I still feel hungry. I know what I need to eat, but I don't get that stomach growling, painful, you need to eat something right now, which triggers a lot of us and causes a lot of us to go ahead and binge eat. And that's a huge plus for me. I love that. But then again, there are other times I'm not so crazy about it, because if I do happen to have something extra, and last night was an instance where it's my own fault. I was lying down on the couch, I had a cup of tea, and I had already eaten dinner. I shouldn't have eaten anything else at that point. I had a can of cashews sitting on the table in front of me, and I started eating them. Unfortunately, I stayed laying down watching the movie. Well, I can't do that. And without even thinking, it was an old habit. It came back, and I started eating them, and then I drank the tea, kind of leaned up a little, drank the tea. When I laid back down, I felt it. I sat immediately up, and I knew I needed to hit the bathroom really fast, because the cashews and that tea were going to come back up. And that's exactly what happened. So there are downfalls. And of course, I was laughing through it. Brian was like, "Are you okay? What can I do?" I'm like, "Nothing. We're just going to let it come up." Unfortunately, because my stomach is no longer have a pouch in it where it just holds everything, and then when you do let it go, it squeezes it all up and it comes out in 1 or 2 takes. This, you have to kind of let your stomach kind of knead it up, and then it'll come out. So anyways, not a night, you know, but anyways, that's one of the downfalls of the gastric sleeve. So here these are. You can see them bubbling away, so I'm going to shut this off. We're going to let that cool for about a minute. And then we're going to take small little scoops of these, of the mixture that I made. Okay. We're going to put them together. We're going to fold them in half, and then throw a little more of the Parmesan over the top. Put them back in the oven for another 3 minutes or so, 3-4 minutes. And then this is what they come out looking like. Look at this. And they are absolutely wonderful. And I use a low sugar tomato sauce. I have not found a recipe yet that I'd like. Everything uses, you know, the zero carb sweeteners, the xylitol and things like that. I don't like the taste of those. They, you know, and they kind of take and leave, for me, a funny aftertaste. Doesn't mean that they're not good for you, and that they're not good. If you can handle them, it's a really personal taste. I did order some allulose. Allulose is a more natural sweetener and I'm gonna try that. That should be coming today. I'm gonna give that a try and see. I did try to make cranberry sauce last night. That went in the trash. It was very, very bitter. I tried using Splenda. I can't deal with the taste of that stuff. I don't like having a lot of gross flavoring. All right, so here we go. This is what they look like when you put a little dollop on it, and then you take it, fold it over. Just fold them over so that they close up. And you can even pinch them off with a fork. This will be enough for my dinner tonight at work. Brian actually even liked these. So maybe he'll eat the rest of those that are left over. Take your fork, and I'm going to go ahead and pinch them on the edge. Now, even with 5 minutes, these are a little browner on the edge than I anticipated. So I'm probably gonna, because of this particular stove, you know, it's a trial and error thing. Just like anytime you cook anything, it's trial and error. So we're just pinching these off. Just like that. I'm gonna take some shredded Parmesan cheese, and I'm gonna put some shredded Parmesan on each of them. Okay, just to give it a little bit of a beautiful thing. I'm gonna take some more of my Mrs. Dash, put it in my palm, and then just sprinkle it on my raviolis. Popping them in the oven for 4 minutes. Maybe don't even need that, maybe just 3. And again, at the 375. But that oven's so hot, it'll keep going. So it's basically just to kind of solidify everything there at the end. So they were absolutely delicious. And there goes Brian. He's stealing some of the ravioli already. So when my 32-year-old, very picky eater son likes something, I know the recipe is good. So what we're going to do is now just let it finish and finish up. Like I said, that's how they come out. You saw them. You can either just put your sauce on them or use them as a snack and put them out on a tray. We have, I think, something coming up at work. We got the holidays coming up. People will be bringing things in. I'm probably going to make these and then bring them in with just a container of the low sugar sauce. I like low sugar marinara sauce, and just dip them. It's wonderful. Great way to lose weight. Good tasting. I think you'll enjoy them. Go ahead and give them a shot. Remember, if you like my videos, like them underneath, and then go ahead and subscribe, because there are a whole lot more coming. And obviously, I'm not only giving you some good recipes and hints for health, I'm also going to be giving you lots of places to go to put on your bucket list. Lots of videos of traveling, of Maggie the Travel Nurse, the adventures of Maggie-N-Mae, as we venture out, and Brian too. I should change the name of that. The Adventures of Maggie-N-Mae and Brian too. You know, kind of like Winnie the Pooh and Tigger too. But, because he comes with me everywhere. So anyways, hope you have a great day. I hope you go and enjoy your wonderful, wonderful weekend. I get to work for the next 3 days. So that's why I'm doing my baking right now. I'm going to be heading to bed probably in about 30 minutes. Getting a little bit of sleep before I go to work. And then my first night back, I never get a full 8 hours sleep before I go in, because I've slept the night before. So I do take a nap. I go to work, get through, do a great job, and then come home. And I go to bed and I sleep for my 8 hours, and then I get up. So, and I will do that. And then Sunday, not sure what we're doing Sunday. There is a fair that looked pretty neat around here. There's also mini golfing that we may do. Who knows? We'll see. Let's see. Any ideas? Give me a shout out. Bye-bye.